Hello and welcome back, guys. This time around we'll be working on a blog post kind of website, the one you can see right here. It's actually pretty simple. We have a sidebar, this one, then we have a large image and the article itself basically. I'll walk you through building this one, all the markup, CSS and JavaScript involved, and we'll be working on animations which are triggered by scrolling, which you can see right there. When we scroll along, we'll want to trigger some anime.js animations, because that's something some of you guys asked for, so let's go ahead and do that. I'll switch back to Adam. I've already set up a basic directory. I have a CSS folder, a Sass folder because I'm writing Sass and it's compiled by CodeKit, a simple image folder with a portrait in it, a simple function.js file, and of course our index.html. And I also went ahead and created the whole thing in Sketch, just so we can get the values in correctly. I use a different image here, but that's not that important. I also went ahead and already wrote my markup because, as you can see, it's mostly just paragraphs and I didn't want to bore you guys with that. It's actually really simple. So we have our head right here, our basic tags in here, title and so on. I've linked up a normalized CSS file and our style.css right here. It's this one. And also a anime.js CDN, and this one is waypoints.js. Waypoints.js is the one we'll be using for the scroll-based triggers. I know that we could have built that thing by ourselves as well, but I think it's just much more efficient to use like a library because it's something that's it's just faster and simpler. I don't think it's necessary to reinvent the wheel here. And yeah, this is our function.js file, and then our body starts right here. We have our sidebar, our image, and our article. That's basically these three columns. For the sidebar, I started off with the hamburger, which is an SVG I pulled from Sketch. It's this one. Then we have our navigation, which is a link, SVG, link, SVG, link. And that's basically link, SVG, link, SVG, link. These are just little design elements, little crosses. Pulled them from Sketch as well. And finally a indicator. I call it indicator. I actually don't really know what it's for in the design, but it's just this red dot. Then we have our image tag, which is empty because we'll set this as a background image in CSS later. And then our article, which consists of a div with a class of search, which will be this div right here. And then we have a headline wrapper which has lifestyle, then the H1 and the H2 in it. That's basically this section right there. And finally a div text wrapper which has all the paragraphs inside of it. And that's basically it for the markup. We will now go ahead and start styling this. Let's take a look at how this looks in our browser right now. Okay, not too fancy, nothing special, but we'll start. Okay, what I like to do first is set up some basic styles for all the elements, which is margin 0, padding 0, box sizing border box, whoops. And also we can set up our color, which is 212121, like that. That's the basic text color we're using. Then we'll go ahead with the body, and the body has a height of 100 viewport height units, and width as well, viewport width units. And it will get display flex and a flex direction of row. So what this does is it basically makes sure that, as you can see, this whole article is like this area is fixed and it's over the whole screen, and this is what's scrollable. And this div basically, which the content sits inside of, will be scrollable via CSS. That's why I set the body to 100 viewport width units and height units. And I also gave it flex direction of row, because these three sections, or these three columns, will be inside of the body, and they should be in a row, not in a column. So that's it for the body as well. I also like to set up this class called flex center, and it will be display flex, justify content center, and align items center. This is like a SAS feature. I could now go ahead and say extend dot flex center like that, and it would add these styles to my body, but I'm actually not sure if we'll use that. We'll see. Next up is our sidebar. So sidebar will have a fixed height of, or it's not fixed, but it's 100% because we want it to be over the whole height of the screen. The width should be fixed of 115 pixels because we don't want it to necessarily get smaller as we scale down our window. It'll also have display flex, flex direction of column this time because it's like vertical, and justify content. We'll use space between for that, because as you can see we have three elements inside of it and they have a space between them. You could say it like that. We'll also use some padding all around the sidebar, which I remember was 47 pixels, and I think that's it for the sidebar itself. Let's look at that. Yep, there we go. You can see it's a little messed up still, but basically it's working the way we want it. Now inside of the sidebar we have our nav. We don't need to style the hamburger any further because, as you can see, it's already where we want it. So what we'll do next is write nav, and for the navigation we'll set it to display flex again. We'll also use flex direction column on it, and we'll use justify content space between again. That's for the links, so they're spaced out correctly, on of course the SVGs as well. So we got that. We also need align items center, so they are aligned inside of our navigation tag. And finally we also need to give it a height, I think. Let's check that. Okay, 360 should be good. Now we can also go ahead and style our links a little. Obviously we need to rotate them because they're not like horizontally but vertically, so we'll do transform rotate and we'll use minus 90 degrees. And text decoration should be set to none. They should have a font family of Avenir next. Font weight, you can set that to 700. Whoops. And finally, font size of 13 pixels. And yeah, let's check that out. That should already look pretty good. Yeah, awesome. Okay, as you can see, the margin seems to be a little off right there. Actually, I'm not sure about it. But okay, we can fix that. We can just, and instead of like assigning new classes or anything, we can use nth child, and we'll use the first one, and we have to adjust the margin bottom, maybe minus 15 pixels. This will target the about link. Yeah, as you can see, that fixed the margin right there. I'll show it to you again. So there you can see how it changes, and back to normal. That's better. Okay, and yeah, same thing for the other one. And child, this time it should be 5, I think, because we have first element, second, third, fourth and fifth. That's the features link. It should have margin top this time, and we'll say minus 10 pixels. Yeah, that's better. Perfect. I think that's it for the navigation, and we'll go ahead with, oh actually yeah, for the hamburger, oops, missed the dot right there, we can set cursor to, oh, pointer, and let's see if that works. Yeah, just so we get a pointer when hovering over it. Hamburger. Next up, let's see in our design. Yeah, we need to create this little dot right there. No, I need, whoa. This thing, it's driving me insane. Okay, atom. We need our little, I think it's called indicator, right? Yep, indicator. So dot indicator, it should have a height of, let's see, 22, width of 22, border radius 1000 should be good. And we also need a, let's see, of course, background color. Let's get it from here, copy that, paste, pound, and that should be it. It's not round. Border radius, pixels. Whoops, what have I done? Pixels. Yep, awesome. It works. So, sidebar is done, awesome. Let's go ahead and set up the image real quick. That shouldn't take too long either. We'll just say .image, and we'll use flex for the image. Let's say flex 1, so it scales properly when resizing the screen. And the div will have a background image. URL will be /image/portrait, I think. Let's see. Portrait.jpg. Okay. Awesome. Next up, also, yeah, background size, cover, and background position. We can, position, we can set that to center. Let's see if it works. Nope, of course not. Image flex background image URL /image/portrait.jpg. Let's see. Background size cover, background position center. Dudum. Is there something wrong with the image? I'm not sure. Maybe CodeKit is not working properly. Let's see. Let's check our CSS. Nope, that's working. Background size cover, background position center. Why then does it not show up? Okay, let's just go ahead. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that for a second and just continue, and we'll probably find out why that is. So next thing should be article. Article, and it will have a width. Let's see. I usually like use a rectangle to. Okay. 904. Let's see if 904 is okay. Ah, there's our image. I think it's because we didn't specify. Yeah, okay. We have to specify dimensions for the article wrapper as well. So width, that was a bit too big. I think the value I used was 767 pixels. Let's see. Oh yeah, we have to remove that. Yeah, that looks... Well, I don't know if that's kind of too big. That's 901, and that is as well, yeah. So they should have like the same size. Let's check that. Actually, I think it's okay like that. Yeah, as you can see, the article stays fixed. And yeah, of course, if the screen gets really large, the image does as well, but it's okay, I think, in this case. Yeah, okay. Let's go on, let's go on. We also need to set it to overflow Y scroll. See if that works. Yep, it does. Kind of. Okay. And now we're done with the article wrapper itself. So next up will be search, and the... Okay, that's not too difficult. It should be not 1000, 100% of the width of the article itself, because we want to position, like you can see there's nothing else on that height of the search icon, so we can set it to 100%. 100% and display flex and justify content will be flex n to position it to the right, and flex direction. Actually, no, I don't think we need flex direction. I think we need padding. Yeah, padding. Padding. Let's check the padding. 47 pixels. Let's check that out. Yup, looks good to me. Then search is done. We need the headline wrapper. Dot headline wrapper h3. Or actually no, let's first write the styles for the headline wrapper itself. Headline wrapper should have a width of 100% as well. It should be display flex and flex direction column this time, because they're beneath each other. And align items center is also necessary. And let's see. Okay, justify content space between to space them out. Like that. And we should also set a height. 220 is the value we need. Let's check that out. Okay. Yeah. Now it's about styling the headlines. So h3 needs let's see, what do we need there? We need font family, Avenir, next, and we need font size of 13 pixels. We need font weight of 700, that's bold. We need a color, let's check that blue color, blah blah blah, there we go. And letter spacing 1.5 pixels. I'm actually not sure about the 1.5, but yeah. Okay, let's see if that... Yeah, it does make a difference. Yeah, okay. So that's it for the h3. Then we have our h1. h1 needs font family, that's Playfair. Whoop. Display. We also need font weight, bold, 700. Font size, let's check the font size. 49. Okay. Wait a second. 49. Okay, 38 is what I used. Okay, 38. Letter spacing 5.5 pixels. That's quite a lot. Text align should be center, and the line height, actually I don't think we need line height, let's see. Okay. Oh no, we do need line height to space out the two lines right there. So line height should be, let me check, 60 pixels and width of 600 pixels, so it breaks at the correct word, which is fall. Yeah, that looks very similar. Awesome. Now the subheading, that's an H2. Font family will be Playfair again. Display. And font size will be 17 pixels. We'll need a letter spacing of 1 and font weight normal. Nice. Looks good. Now it's time for the paragraphs, I think. Let's see, text wrapper. First of all, we have to style the wrapper a little. It needs display flex. Also, of course, flex direction column again. And they should be in the center of that wrapper. And we also need some padding. 0 for the top, 70 for the right, 0 for the bottom, and oh no, it's 76 that I used. 76 for the left side. And some margin top of, let's see, 50 pixels. That's basically that little white space right there. Now it's time for the paragraphs. So the paragraphs need let's see, font family is again Playfair. Display. We need a font size of 35 pixels and no, that's way too big. 15 should be good. I think, yeah, 35, that was for the line height. And we also need some margin bottom of 25 pixels, so the individual paragraphs are spaced out. That's that space right there. Let's see. Looks good. And yeah, actually something I struggled with a little bit was this large W. I wasn't really sure how to do that in CSS, so what I did is I went ahead online, looked it up a little bit, and what I found to be the best solution is to simply do P and first, what was it, first child and first letter. First child, first letter, that basically targets this P tag and then the first letter of it. And it will get a few styles to display correctly. First of all, we have to float it left so that the text like flows around it or floats around it, however you want to say it. Font size will be large, of course, 65 pixels. Line height of 60 pixels. That kind of helps with the spacing. Some padding yeah, padding top should be 50 pixels, right, 5, not 50, 5, 12 pixels, 0 and 0. Let's check if that looks, yep, that looks perfect. So remember that, guys, it's quite helpful, it looks really good, I think. Dot first child and first letter, or just first letter in general, but I don't think it's like cross browser compatible or anything, so keep that in mind. I think that's actually it for the CSS. Looks good, right? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I kind of don't like it too much when it's large, but it looks good like that. Nice. Now we'll go ahead and use waypoints to trigger some JavaScript animations. So what we'll do is document dot add event listener, and we'll listen for DOM content loaded as always, and execute this arrow function. What this function needs to do is, let me just give me a second here. Okay, so what this function needs to do is basically create a waypoint, and we'll create a waypoint by saying, for example, we can save it inside a variable waypoint, and we'll simply say new waypoint point, like that, and by that we've initialized a waypoint object, and inside of it we can specify different things like element, and the element we want to listen for is a certain paragraph. So what we'll do is select that paragraph with document dot query selector, and inside our markup we have this ID p5 paragraph 5, and this is the one we want to animate. So what we'll do is say p5, actually pound p5 comma, and then we'll use or specify a handler. This handler is simply a function that's called as soon as the query selector, as soon as the paragraph scrolls into view, the element scrolls into view basically. And this function will simply contain a anime.js animation. So targets will again be our p5, like that, and an animation can be ease out expo for easing, and we'll, for example, translate it on the x-axis from, whoops, square brackets, from -100 to 0, so from 100 positions at 100 pixels to the left of its original position to its original position, which should like result in, I don't know if that's the paragraph, but it should result in it moving from here to there. And translate X, we also need opacity, and that needs to go from 0 to 1, and some delay could also be good, 300. Whoops, 300. Okay, Now if we try that, nothing happening. That's because we need to specify one more thing, and that's context. We don't need context every time we want to use a waypoints, but in this case we do, because we are setting up this waypoint inside a div that's scrollable. So waypoints needs to know which element it is that we are scrolling. So we'll select that, and that should be our dot article, like that. Now something should be happening. Let's see. Whoa, still nothing. Let's check for errors. Unexpected identifier in line 14. Document.querySelector.article. Oh, we were missing the comma. Yep, error is gone. And there we go, there's something happening, right? Let's check that out again. You see that, guys? As soon as the paragraph hits the top of our window, it animates, right? But that's not what we want, because we want it to scroll into view as soon as the bottom of the window hits it, basically. So what we'll need to do is set an offset, and this offset has to be 100%. That basically makes, like, it inverts the whole thing, and it makes sure that this animation happens as soon as the bottom of the window hits the paragraph, and that's the animation we're getting. Scrolling it into view and it's animating, right? That's basically it for today. This is pretty basic, but I think it's really helpful, and you can actually do a lot of cool things with it if you play around with it. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give me a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video, because I'm planning on probably doing a desktop design, which we're then going to make responsive in a second video. So stay tuned for that, and bye guys, basically bye.